Hey there, how the heck are ya? Zefrine here with another speed build. This one's a little bit different. It's going to be a community challenge that my community challenged me to, because that's how community challenges work, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, the name on this one is to be determined. I'm not really 100% sure what I'm going to call it, but the budget is 1 million simoleons, and I'm going to stay exactly like as close as I can to that. This lot, I can tell you this though, it's going to be in Brindleton Bay, and it's where the Delgado house is. It's on the like upper right hand corner. So in the beginning, you can see I measure out the centers, and that's what those like little brown patches are and everything, those little squares. So I think this is like a 20 by 20 or 40 by 40, I think. And I didn't know what I was going to do initially. I had no idea. I had like a couple of cool colonial coastal style homes. This one's like Abraham Lincoln's house from Vermont is where I pulled some of the inspo from, mostly on like the shape and the shutters and all that kind of stuff. But I added my own little like zazz with the staircase going up there, because this initially, like the photos that I was looking at, though it was like flat and they had like all these crazy hedges and everything everywhere, and I wasn't really sure that I wanted to do quite that. But here I use the university door, and then I'm messing with like faux pillars that are gonna go all the way across this the front there. Not really 100% sure what I was doing at that point. Messing around with some of the windows, but I messed around with the idea of making my own shutters out of like the little vent thing from base game. I don't remember what it's called, but pretty cool stuff. The base game windows, I do believe that I ended up going with like a good variety of those. I think I stayed more with the shutters on the front side, and then on the sides I went with like a non-shuttered version, just because I don't know. Or maybe I went with shutters all the way around. I think I might have actually. Anyway, I guess we'll figure it out. But I really toy around with the idea of like the different sizes and shapes and everything. And then I eventually I got rid of the like the faux pillars there. And I kind of I decide to create my own little like entryway thing, which you'll see comes together pretty nicely too. But second story, I decided to go with like smaller windows, taller windows on the bottom, maybe added like a little bit of a foundation to it, which I think I ended up like doing away with a little bit later down the road, which you'll see kind of come together there too. So a lot of these older style houses, specifically this one, really, it had more gabled roofs. It didn't really have hipped roofs, or not hipped roofs, sorry. It had hip roofs, not gabled roofs. So I messed around with this a little bit, like on the front there. But I am making a little sunroom off to the left there. And then I don't know I haven't done any of the floor plan yet. This is just the exterior of this house, by the way. This is going to be a 2-part video. I did forget to mention that. But here you can see I'm throwing on like the hipped roofs and everything. And I create like the little entryway just because I think it adds a little more dimension and kind of a little more flavor to it. Then here I am connecting the 2 roofs, and I think I end up stretching that right piece back a little bit more, and maybe moving this and squishing it so like it's not so like it's sticking out so much on the right side, and you'll see that in a little while here. But then going around playing with the idea of doing like plain windows. Didn't really like the way it looked again, just because of I like the contrast that the black the shutters kind of offer. So then here adding a lot of these windows, because these colonial style homes like this had a lot of windows, and it's very rectangular. I'm actually not entirely dreading the floor plan, and praying that like my measurements and everything were 100% and good, because I think the 2 doors and everything match up. You watch me build my mermaid mansion. That was a whole thing. That sucked so much. I built like this really cool, like sunken mermaid mansion thing live on Twitch. And that was like a sure nightmare. So here I'm messing around with like a little bit of a rounded back porch, just because I like rounded porches. So then I use like a half gabled roof, like 3 half gabled roof pieces and 2 round pieces, and flatten them down to create that rounded look. And if you watch any of my past speed builds, I also did that with a Victorian house that I made. I think it was like the 1900s one or something. I don't remember, maybe 1890s, but one of my earlier speed builds that I did. Then here I'm toying around with making my own little dormers, but I just think they look really weird, even on like their shortest walls, and I didn't feel like messing with it. So then I ended up using these little ones from university here. And I'll have to replace these in a little while as well. You'll notice I make, in order to get like the exterior roof trim, I end up making like a fence thing, and it deletes it because it like made a room. But yeah, you'll see me replace those. I'm using the tool mod to push them down into the roof so it looks like they're just like longer, like one big piece rather than sticking out all funny. Tinkering with the roof a little bit more to make sure that seam comes nicely, maybe adding like another little chimney thing, sizing that one on the left down. And I'm playing around with the idea of like what orientation I like, because I didn't like one being like, I didn't like them being different directions. So that I just ended up making them like, not broadside, but short side. I don't know. Different angle. And I've always wanted to use this wallpaper. This one's a base game one. I don't remember what it's called, but I'm pretty avoidant. This is actually like a big brain moment for me. A lot of you guys probably know that, but that wallpaper I'm using from base game, it follows the outside edges. And sometimes if you find that the corners, you know how it looks all like bricky and stuff. If you find that those corners aren't lining up, delete your walls inside and then, put the wallpaper on and then redraw your floor plan inside, because then those corners will kind of line up just where you want them to on your outward facing ones, which is pretty cool. Then I use a vampire's brick and I'm messing around with different like wall swatches to see if I actually want that one from base game. And then a little later you'll see that I add the frieze that's across the front there. I change that. Oh, here I'm realizing that I accidentally deleted the other one, so I got to redo those little dormer pieces from university. But you'll see I redo it, and that's a little more down the road. I played around with the idea of doing the white, but then I'm like, no, it's gonna look super washed out, and I really like the that nice light. It's like a super light beige color. And here I am. Those of you guys who know me as a builder, you guys are gonna be super proud of me for using like different colored chimneys. I'm thinking about, so I know this is like an exterior version of this build here. I'm going to play around. I was thinking a little bit earlier today about like, I think I might want to change those pillars. I think by the end of this, like the exterior and like all the landscaping and everything, I'm pretty sure that I end up with like just a hair over like 900,000 simoleons, which doesn't really scare me that much because I have some ideas. I built plenty of like $1 million homes. Honestly, the thing that's scaring me the most is being like exactly on 1 million simoleons, but we'll get it done. I have some ideas and things on my sleeve that I could do. Playing around with foundations. I ended up going with like a really basic base game one. Kind of nice that like that nice, I think it's like almost like a beigey color, like a grayish almost. I don't know what they call it. But then since I have it on the foundation, and here I actually push it down into the ground, but I didn't quite like the way that it looked when it's coming off the edge, like on the back, on that back porch, and then also like on the right side, which is the left right here. How it's like hanging off the side. You'll see me messing with the tool mod a little bit there, and pushing those pillars down into the ground. So then, because your pillars actually like go on top of the foundation, so then you just have all this dead space. And I really like the way that those pillars kind of add a little bit of flavor, and a little bit more dimension. It doesn't look so flat and bland. And then these are like the, oh God, I think these are pillars from like Get Together. I think it's called like the Experienced pillar, which is honestly one of my favorite pillars. It's just such a good catch-all, really great one. So here I'm playing out the idea in the front lawn of like maybe like a big fountain thingy. And then I remember how annoying it is to use rounded rooms and stuff. So then I just didn't. I guess it's like the long and short of it. You can see I'm really messing around with the idea. And I'm like, wait, why don't I just use terrain tools? Because I can kind of accomplish that without all the headache and everything. I was going to try floor tiles at first, and here I am trying to flatten it all out, but then I ended up going terrain paint instead because it's going to be nicer to us as far as like the, oh my God, what's it called? Like the way the ground like gently slopes. The floor tiles really don't like it. So here I've got like, I centered it to the best of my ability. And then I playing around with different like hedges and stuff that I could get. I was gonna do like a fenced one, but then you can't like get right up against the wall or like the edge of the lot in The Sims 4, which is kind of poopy, but like it is what it is. Playing around with different fence options. I was gonna like, do I want to do hedges? What I want to do? The base game brick one, I've been trying to figure out like a good way to use it, but then I had like a big brain idea. I'm gonna make wait, no, I'm still messing with it. Just kidding. You'll see in just a second. I make a nice garden. I'm actually kind of proud of it. It came together pretty quickly. Oh, and then I remembered there's this base game hedge that I'm obsessed with, and it sizes down so beautifully. And I'm like, yes, this is the one I'm going to use. And that looked like a thing. And then I decided to make like a little square crossroads thing over here in like the front. So you can see I am measuring this out. I think it's like 6 long on the left and the right, counting it out. And then here we go. Here we go. I'm making 2 gazebos. Super cute. And I decided to like bring it forward, put some steps on it, delete the roof and stuff because the shadows were bothering me. And here I am. Oh, I was thinking this was going to be really cool, but it didn't work out because of the terrain, I think. But like the stairs, they walk down and then up again. It's like a little cross. I don't know. It could have been cool, but then I gave up because I moved on mostly. Try not to like dwell on that too much. But over here, I'm checking and like looking at what kind of foliage they have. And like the dogwood trees are really cute from pets, like cats and dogs. Apparently they really stink in real life too. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, but I feel like they obstructed a little bit too much and I went a different direction. But here I am lining the front gardens, kind of creating like a mirrored image to a decent extent over here on the side. It's not completely symmetrical, but I mean, it gets the point across. I think it looks kind of cute. Looks pretty good. I didn't even like count how wide the garden or like the slopey parts around the staircases are. But here I'm lining all these with hedges and everything all around my little gazebos. I'm kind of conflicted on the way they look. I like the roof pieces and like the friezes that you'll see I add and everything, but I'm not really sure about like the colors. But again, there might be like some, in the next video, there might be some like refining touches on like the garden area. Maybe I'll add a little something else to burn my way closer to the, to that $1 million mark. But for the most part, this is like completely all the exterior, but no, if you know me, I'm indecisive, no promises, but I'm gonna do my best. I really like making big builds. So I was really glad that my community picked this one. Doesn't really scare me. Here we go. I'm adding university pillars here all around the side, but then the reason why I ended up trying like a different color was because I felt like the mansion had more warm tones to it. It wasn't quite as white. And then, I feel like the gazebo colors that I ended up going with a glass roof as well, ended up fitting like the whole build a lot better. Then I wanted to add like little spires to the top, but then I'm like, wait, this is a cat lady mansion, like cat lady mansion of the dreams. So instead of those, I added little cats, like the cat statues. And I put those on there and then I changed them bronze for like a little bit more of color. So it didn't seem so perfect. It seems more like antique. It's really cute. I actually initially wanted to make this on like the Von Haunt estate, I think is what it is. In what the heck is it called? Windenburg, but then you can't live there. And I want to live here because this house is goals. But then you can see backing up just a little bit there, I used the tool mod to move the pillars down because these are on like 2 clicks of a foundation, I think. So then I just moved those to the ground. So then it looked really seamless all across the board. Then I raised the pillars up. Here I'm messing with the roof patterns, bringing in a little bit more of that warm color that I was talking about with the roof trim, kind of made it a nice grayish color. Playing around with the idea of like a little cat statue lounging in the sunlight in the middle of the path, as cats do. I thought it was on brand. Now we begin with the gardens. So these are debug rocks from cats and dogs. I find that these ones are a lot nicer whenever you use terrain tools. For some reason, they just contour with it better. I don't know why, but I just find that they do. So I like them a lot. So I'm using tool mod to make sure they're not floating. And then I am kind of lightly just kind of fluffing the edge of the terrain there so we don't get quite as much of the brown rocky side to stick up. Here you can see I'm doing that on this edge as well, kind of bringing it around. Making this like a big rocky wall to the right over there. Looks kind of cute. Then I continue my way all the way around the side. And I think I end up like contouring this a little closer. And then I flatten those like back humpy edges a little more. And then I make them into like nice little places for trees that are like right on the corner of the lot right there. Yeah, right there we go. You'll see that come together a little bit later. Then over here, we have like a nice, another little garden using the tool mod once again to kind of make sure they're not all floaty, making it look all nice and getting it ready for our garden. And then making this whole back wall look like it's all on rocks. And I think it's cute. But then, here we go. I was playing around with the idea of like adding spandrels or something to make it look all nice. But then with like the hills and the stairs, it just ended up looking really wonky. So then I didn't. Adding more cat statues, as we must. And then I decided to move the cat statues over in front of the windows because it just felt a little bit better so they can sit in the gardens too. Then here I'm lining all of these little areas with these cute planter thingies that actually match the because the rails are university. Those planters are from Get Together, I want to say, but they matched up pretty well. Ooh, and lights. I always forget about lights. I'm pretty proud of myself. I've been pretty like, oh yeah, nighttime. I can do that thing. But then I use this really classic sconce from, I think, Get Together once again. Get Together really brought this pack together, one might say. And then I'm adding light posts. And I think these are from, I don't even know what pack this is from, but they're from a pack. Looks pretty cute. Probably cats and dogs or something. It looks like they might be. And then I go hog wild with all sorts of romantic garden stuff. I feel like gardens have been kind of like a point that because usually what happens, I build the exterior, I go inside, and then I want to play. So then I just like go through the landscaping super quick. But I've been trying to do like all the exterior at once and then moving inside, unless I have like a really like concrete idea on what direction I want to go with the inside. And then I don't want to lose that kind of like juice, if you know what I mean. But I'm filling in with like a lot of different like little plants and everything. I wish I knew the names of these, but there's like hollyhocks, maybe delphinium, some base game flower, like the wildflower thing, some bushes that are base game. And then I also go in with the oops-a-daisy thing a little bit later to fill in all of the cracks and stuff. So right now I'm just creating like little islands of like flowers is what I call them, filling in with bigger bushes. I think those are called like pink bush. I don't even remember, but yeah, just filling in all the blanks, all that kind of stuff. And trust me, it comes together pretty nicely after a little bit, because right now I'm just slapping it all down. And then the next little bit here, I literally go through and I change swatches and all of the color comes alive. I just use like whatever basic ones that they gave you, just to lay out the groundwork. And I knew that there were like a lot of, actually, I'm not gonna lie, I did not know that they added more swatches with like those little tiny orangey bushes. I wish I knew what they're called, for base game. And then the oops-a-daisies. I love daisies, and I always wish that they had more colors with the oops-a-daisy, with the flowers that you could get from base game. And lo and behold, here it is. We got lots of color in here. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So you see that I'm working on maybe adding some like different styles of birch trees. And then I'm like, wait, I want more greenery, more to like fill this in because it feels a little sparse. So then I go in with these hostas, one of my favorite plants to kind of fill with. They're really, really cute, just really simple. They're nice and they cover a lot of ground, which is awesome if you're lazy like me. So I add those in and then change a bunch of the swatches as well. And then to really bring it all together, to make it look a lot less like bland and everything, I go ahead and I use like the brown, the swatches, I can't remember what it's called, dirt with the terrain paint. And then inside of these little gazebos over here, I am still a little bit conflicted, like I said, on the color scheme and everything that I want to have, but I ended up putting in like little bushes, or not bushes, I lied, romantic, I don't know why I said bushes, romantic garden stuff, like the stool or like the bench under there. But that area is kind of like to be determined. I might add a little bit more to it, but I don't know yet, but that's where we're at right now. And again, I'm adding more and more flowers and kind of going like with the same trend of all of the same bushes and adding all the dimension, filling on all the holes with other sorts of plants. I also like sizing things down and up based on what I'm placing to add a little bit more of the a little bit more flavor there too. So then I go into the live edit objects and the debug and I pick through cats and dogs because this is in Brindleton Bay. And then I add like all sorts of like little greenery and like some bushes and stuff like that outside of my hedges. So then it blends a little more seamlessly in with the lot. Then over here, I'm like, oh yeah, wait, I have this garden. And then I do more bushes. Delphinium, some base game bushes and stuff like that. Hollyhocks. I think there's even some irises in there from romantic garden stuff. Oops-a-daisies. Those rose bushes, thingamabobs, hostas, all sorts of color. And I had no rhyme or reason. I was just clicking and picking swatches. Clicking and picking. That's what we got. Clicking and picking. I tried to make sure to be like conscious of like, I didn't have like a huge pocket of like white flowers or like all like cool tone flowers all in the same area. So I really tried to add like that, the variety. And then I replaced the trees. So yeah, I guess that's the exterior of this house so far. Again, I might make like a couple of alterations, but that's what we have. And so stay tuned for part 2 of this, where I will be tackling the interior and polishing everything until it all comes together. Again, this name is to be determined. My budget is 1 million simoleons, as on the nose as I can get. This lot is where the Delgados live in Brindleton Bay. It's on like the right-hand side. It's like a 40 by 40, I think. And when it's ready, this will be on my gallery under zefrineTTV. And as always, all this information will be down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And I am appreciative of you. So as I always say, tomorrow's a beautiful day, especially with you in it. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.